Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Simon Tefula Show. This episode, we have an interesting guest by the name of Veronica. Today, we're going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about technology. We're going to talk about sustainability and everything around that. Welcome to the show, Veronica.
Hi, Simon.
Thank you so much for taking your time to come and onto the show. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, my honor.
So we're going to have a conversation today about you, about your startup, and your
Yes.
journey so far. So tell me a bit more about you. Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
So I originally from Taiwan and I grew up there.
Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. And so tell me about like your story. So do you have any siblings or any family members who are entrepreneurs? And
So my parents left being run the children's wear fashion business
Yeah.
for 25 years. So yeah, I was lucky to have a chance that can see they start the retailers, and when I was 10 they become a wholesale business, and I think it's really gave me an idea how to bootstrap from zero and build it into the physical shops, and I learned lots from them.
amazing, that's incredible. So you actually learned from the experience working in the fashion industry, and also you learned how to bootstrap from zero to actually growing
Yeah.
a business from retail to wholesale. That's incredible. So do you have any memories of, did you ever go with your parents to the shops, to the office,
Yeah.
amazing.
Actually, when I was little, I really need to go to the store every day and
Yeah.
watching them how they sell products, how they do supply chains, how to they put inventory, and so I think it's really hands-on experience. I can watch and learn.
Learn. Oh, that's an incredible learning experience. That is the sort of experience you do not get at a university or a college. That you can't buy that sort of experience,
Yeah.
right? It's amazing. Okay, so the other question I wanted to ask you about is,
Yeah.
where did you go to school? Where did you go to university, and what did you study?
So I went to business school, study economics. After graduated, I work in a luxury brand, Josanda, and a digital marketing agencies focusing on influencer marketing. So 6 years ago, I came to London to start my study in fashion management at London College of Fashion
Amazing.
and e-business management at Warwick University for my master's degree.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so-
incredible.
I think that would be the right time for me to start with my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this experience, and on top of that, you have these academic skills that you
Yes.
learn that have prepared you to obviously start this business. Amazing.
Mhm.
So, tell me, what inspired you to start your
Yeah.
company?
So I always been fascinated by the power of influence. So back to the time I work in the digital marketing agency, we run a couple of successful campaign, and I knew one day if I will create something, I will create something in influencer marketing.
Yeah.
So when I started my own business, I found there are many companies that
Yeah.
want to make a positive impact
Yeah.
on the world in a sense.
Okay.
So for example, a brand, they could run the model like when customer come into the store, buy the product and donate 10% of its sales into the charity.
Yeah.
And I think it's a common model for those brands who really care about ethical issues. And another example I heard from the Farfetch panel discussion last week
Yeah.
was sustainability in luxury fashions.
Yeah.
So like the moderators at the evening asking us that anyone in the room care about the sustainable issue, and please raise your hand. And of course everyone in the room especially coming to the topics.
Yes.
So everyone raised their hand.
Yeah.
But when the moderator asked the follow-up question like, are you willing to pay 25% add-on price for a sustainable luxury piece?
Yeah.
And a person like me, who are really sensitive to the budget,
Yeah.
and the price really pushed me away. So for me, it's as a marketer, coming from the economics backgrounds, from my perspective, the majority of those solutions I heard are about cutting down their profits or higher the benchmark from customer side for ethical purpose. But an important question to ask is whether it decreases the total utility in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the major, so at the more human level, does it have already access to more options that can make positive impact, make customer happier, and alongside increase the retailers' ROI.
Yeah.
So that's where FavourUp comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, you bring up a very, very interesting point that a lot of people in the buying community, a lot of customers are happy and want to buy sustainable products. They want to buy products and luxury goods that have been made in a sustainable way. But a lot of them are not willing to pay the extra cost, you know, and this is a really big challenge and a very good point that you bring up. What's your startup company called, and how would you explain it in an elevator pitch?
Yes, so our company called FavourUp.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I mentioned previously is how I was inspired, and FavourUp is a platform that helps ethical brands extend the positive impact and turn it into ROI. So as you may know, there are many brands who work with opinion leaders, let's say influencers, to promote not only their products but their sustainability vision. So we really support those brands' concept. They need the tool to help them extend the positive impact and help their customer make better buying decisions. So FavourUp helps ethical brands sustain the impact of their influencer endorsement. We aggregate those influencer content from social media and redistribute it to the marketing channels where their customer can see when shopping. So whenever a customer sees a product through an influencer's post on websites, they can receive the brand's message better. So brand's vision can also be expressed more clearly. So no matter how angle of the sustainability of the brand comes from, it could raise in the awareness of the animal welfare, working environment, child labeled, eco-friendly materials, etc.
I see. That's amazing. Okay, so what stage would you say you're at today right now?
Yeah, so now we've been trading and working with 18 brands, and many more are ready to come on board soon. Also, there is a partnership with the world-class organizations, which will be announced, and their focus is on sustainability as well. So I think FavourUp is well placed to provide more value to our clients in sustainable fashions. Need to mention that all our current clients are also big supporters of sustainable fashion. We are actually very picky when selecting clients to work with, and thrilled to see that more and more brands are committed to the trend.
Okay, that's incredible. So you're very selective in terms of the influencers you work with, and also very selective with the influencers you work with as well. Amazing. So in terms of fundraising, what's been your experience so far?
So let me go explain. We are crowdfunding backed startup.
Okay.
Yeah, and we closed our first round last year, and I think we've been through the process, and if I have something want to share with as entrepreneurs who really want to make their dreams come true, I will tell them that never start talking, be shameless. It's fine that people say you are late to the game. People say you are not unique. People say don't have a right team, etc. So be humble. Learn what you found valuable. It's really important.
Yeah, so tell me more about the technology behind FavourUp.
Regarding to our technology, we recently introduced a brand new way to help our clients understand their influencer performance through sentiment analysis.
Okay.
It triggered conversation with some major brands, including Farfetch. I think we are ready to serve our clients at a more advanced level and provide qualified insight along with quantified insights.
Amazing. So basically, on top of create, part of the value that you provide is twofold. So you do the curating of all the influencer content for the brand, but on top of that, you also offer analytics that can be useful for the brand to figure out the most effective content and how to best position itself in terms of its marketing, right?
Yes.
That's great. What challenges have you faced so far in this journey?
Yeah, the challenge for us in this stage is that we wish to work with a corporate size company, and the way how we try to solve this kind of challenges that we try to apply program which run by big corporates. For example, Farfetch, John Lewis, they do provide a program for startups to apply for the program, and this way you may have the chance to co-create your product with them.
Amazing.
And I think it's not that easy, but we will try from any angle.
Yes, absolutely.
To knock the door.
Yeah, that's a very good strategy, because what you're saying essentially is that, B2B sales, so business to business sales, are incredibly difficult, right?
Yeah.
And your strategy is you sort of go and apply into programs that are run by some of these big brands that you'd like to work with. So you'd apply for maybe accelerators or incubators or anything of that nature, or panel discussions. So you are in the same space with them. That then gives them the opportunity to see you. It gives them an opportunity to understand about you, and then it allows them to. It makes it easier for you to make that approach, and you co-create that. That's fantastic. What successes have you had so far?
FavourUp was with rental business where the work is nominated for customer innovations for Retail Week Awards among other fashion industry giants like ASOS, Net-a-Porter, Adidas, and Debbie Gums. Yes, and also recently we are finalists as a Rising Star for Influencer Marketing Awards, and that's really give us the confidence that we are doing the right things for our clients and provide the value, really solve the problem in the current market.
Amazing. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so what do you think are the essential skills that are required to be a successful entrepreneur?
I believe that resilience is the most important things, because you will face being rejected every day, and you really need to refresh yourself very soon and stand up working on it time by time and nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. So because as an entrepreneur you get rejected so many times over and over again, so you have to pick yourself up each and every single time and keep going. You're absolutely right. Resilience is extremely important, right? Yeah. So what do you wish what do you know now that you wish you'd known starting out?
People always saying that startups really need to prepare for their minimum viable products. But from my perspective, I would say startups really needs a minimum sellable products.
Amazing.
Yeah, which means that this minimum sellable products, when you approach your clients, they are willing to buy the products because you provide the real value for them. And why I'm saying this is that the time for startup founders is really important. If we focusing on something that people don't really care or don't really think the value other than what they paid, then I think we can save more time and efforts on working on it. So I would say if you are the founders and just be focusing on the value you can provide to your clients. Yeah, and if you identify that something that can be scalable, and you can jump into the next stage.
I see.
Yeah.
So there's a very clear difference between a minimum viable product and a minimum sellable product. A minimum viable product, as I understand, is the most basic fundamental functionality that you can create to prove the concept. However, a minimum sellable product, a minimum sellable product is essentially the value that you're providing, right? Even if you don't necessarily have a product, if you can prove you're providing some sort of value, then that is much more important than the MVP. So an example I can give is, for example, with myself, for trendy people, I connect people with skills in fashion, to people looking for bespoke fashion products and services. So my minimum viable product will be a website or an app with minimal functionality. However, my minimum selling product is the fact that I'm able to provide value by the connection I make without the actual website or app. Fantastic, great point. Okay, so Veronica, being an entrepreneur is very stressful, right? It's very difficult.
Yes, it is.
How do you handle stress? How do you take care of yourself? What is your approach to self-care?
I found that you can find a balance between work and your healthy body is really important. Yeah. So I make myself to go to gym every day, and it will refresh myself when I'm facing the stress. I will be very positive after went to the gym.
Absolutely, because looking after yourself physically, it helps, right? It improves your mood.
Yeah, and also I really appreciate that my business partner is also my best friend. I can truly be honest in front of him whenever I'm facing difficulties in work and life, and it's helped myself to refresh myself quickly and find the clarity through reflection. Then I think it really helps myself to come over the challenges.
That is a very good point, because having someone that you can talk to and confide in and basically be open about the challenges you're going through is really good, right?
Yeah, I would say talk about the things you find difficult and talk about the things, how things affect you. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's incredible. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So if someone had an idea and someone had a dream and they want to do something and they came to you to ask for advice, can you give 3 pieces of advice that they would do?
Yes, of course. I would say congratulations, because you already found your dreams and you find something very important in your life. You want to do it. So there are 3 pieces of advice I would give. Is that first one is that time is precious, so prioritize the goals is very important. And the second one is if you want to change something, do it. Yeah. And the last one is if you own your choice, you need to be proud of the decision you make.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, who's the person that motivated you and inspired you on this journey that you're on today?
There is a person comes to my mind.
Yeah.
She is a female mentor called Annis. Yeah, and Annis, what she teach me about is that if you want to be a salesperson, you don't really need to be the person's salesperson in other people's stereotype. You don't need to be outspoken. You don't really need to be talkative. You can be yourself.
Amazing.
Yeah, because whenever you are being yourself, you are comfortable.
You're comfortable, because you're comfortable being yourself by yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that is a really good point, because you bring up the topic of being a salesperson and learning how to sell.
Yeah.
And so Anis has also written a book about sales, right? And this
Yes.
is...
So her book is Mindful Selling,
Mhm.
and I will really recommend to the audience about. It's worth reading.
It's worth reading.
Yeah, and it will tell you that. You need to set up is a strong mindset.
Okay.
And what your goal is not sales your product to people on the other side. You really need to do is that you feel you are serving them.
Yes.
So you can identify from what they said, and you can take their opinions seriously and really help them to achieve what they want and solve their problems.
Amazing.
So that's really important for me to be the person in the area.
I see. Okay, amazing. Cool. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about is, tell me about a piece of technology or tech or software or hardware that you can't live without.
Of course, laptop.
Laptop, okay. Because everything is on there, right?
Yes.
All your work's on there. So where do you see your company, FavourUp, in the next 3 to 5 years, Veronica?
Yeah. So I think sustainable fashion is the only destination. But it won't be achieved without sustainable influencer marketing. We see ourselves in 5 years in the position where we are pioneering the industry by helping brands better understand the social impact they're making with influencers. At the same time, they can also identify which influencers are really genuine and authentic influencers, and vice versa.
Amazing. Great. Veronica, it's been a wonderful episode. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with me.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward
It's my
to, to
pleasure.
watching your progress.
Thanks.
Cool. Amazing. Great.